So for the U.S. Türkiye game, the final group stage game that they played, of course, you know what happened, you know the result. But I was meeting a
Mm-hmm.
friend and decided that I wanted to go someplace with people, but not with too many people. So in cahoots was definitely out based on the experience that I had with
I
the
was about to say, if you picked that, I think you picked wrong.
yes. So this friend of mine lives south, so figured, okay, ABGB, this will be good. So check the calendar. They are playing the game. But before the game, they had a drag bingo
Mm-hmm.
featuring terracotta.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna go 7 to 9, and then the game's gonna go 9 to 11, right? So that's good. So anyway, so get there.
Drag bingo always goes exactly on time too, so you'd be totally fine.
Well, that's the thing. So got there and met my friend Terracotta, her name. She's doing a dance to Prince. And
Good, good.
so that's happening. Perfectly normal drag bingo stuff. Numbers are being called. We go outside, we talk for a while, we go back in, grab some seats right before. As you mentioned, drag bingo is not going on time. So Terracotta is dancing to Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me, moving towards our spot around the table and gets in front of the TV displaying the game as the U.S. starting lineup is being announced. So drag bingo went on for a few more minutes. So we got sound for most of the game, and it was great until, of course, it wasn't at the very end. So metaphorically, perhaps the sugar being poured was the third goal that Turkey has scored on the United States.
Emergency podcast. Betty did a thing, so we gotta talk about it. Emergency podcast. It's an emergency. Emergency podcast. Shut up, hell yeah, shut up, hell yeah, shut up. Emergency podcast. It's an emergency.
Hey, a hearty hello to you all, and welcome to Emergency Podcast, the Austin FC podcast, where we talk about all the Austin FC emergencies. And I am recording outside because it's Sunday morning and my family has just woken up. And what's us? How are you doing? How is everything going with your World Cup?
We're done with the group stage. Lo, these many months later, people complained, oh, all this soccer, oh, steak, too juicy, lobster, too buttery. I've thoroughly enjoyed the group stage. I think there have been more than what I had hoped for and expected at bare minimum in terms of upsets and crazy freak things happening in various quarters. Thrilled to see 9 of the 10 African teams make it through to the knockouts.
Thought you might be. Yeah, that was good.
I think UEFA, sure, they should be happy about the 13 out of 16 teams they had go through.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Asia though. 2 out of 9 teams, and one of them is Australia, which is technically
Australia.
not Asia, but
Australia, famous Asian continental power, Australia. They made it through. Sorry, I'm going to count them as Oceania. I don't care how FIFA does it. It's an affront to geography. That's the thing I'm angriest at FIFA about is their insult to geography. But I think we're in for some fun and crazy stuff. Who knows? There could be a miracle on grass that doesn't involve the U.S. based on what some of these round of 32 matchups are, what some of the projected round of 16 matchups are. I know that you've been doing daily
really
coverage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential here.
Yeah, for sure.
The one part of the bracket that kind of disappoints me is the all Europe bundle of Portugal, Croatia, Spain, Austria. I would have liked to see somebody not from Europe mixed in with some of those teams. But it also 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Do you want a potential Portugal-Spain round of 16 matchup, or do you not want to see Cristiano Ronaldo bounced out in the round of 16, if not bounced out in the round of 32? Because as up and down as Spain has been, Portugal has played like absolute garbage, and that's not just the 41-year-old that is real proud of hanging goals on Uzbekistan, even though he can't score on anybody else.
Except for Uzbekistan, they looked okay
except
there.
for Uzbekistan, they did pretty well. Frankly, I might have a reasonable chance at scoring a brace against Uzbekistan, the way that they've been playing. There's some interesting matchups. There are some, well, obviously this one is going to go this way kind of matchups. And what I want most of all is for some surprises in the round of 32. Just none that involve Mexico, Canada, or the United States in the bad way. I would like to see the host nations continue to move forward. I would like to believe in the possibility that Congo could upset England. That would be one of the upsets of the tournament, if not the upset of the tournament, where it well and truly is not coming home for America 250 weekend. Argentina, Cabo Verde. I'm glad that Vozinha is excited about that match. That's what I've got to say about that one.
How could you not be? Yeah.
How could you not be? I mean, he was rooting for Messi in the last World Cup. The Cinderella story continues. You couldn't script it better. It was crushing within the span of about 60 seconds to see, oh, whoa, Iran is back in. Oh, oh no, Iran is back out. They were going to carry some suspensions, and they had gone really hard, and they had a really grueling group stage, but they wanted to go through, and I wanted to see them go through. And I'm disappointed that Austria, the cheats that they are, have screwed Iran out of their knockout stage.
That was interesting because everybody kind of suspected, okay, Algeria and Austria are just going to play a boring tie, and they ended up drawing, but it was about as electric as it could be. I was watching Argentina, Jordan, though. I did not flip over in time to see all of the madness that ensued in the final bit, which was, I guess, bad on me.
Yeah, it was completely wild. You chose poorly, Phil. You chose poorly. But some of these round of 32 matchups are kind of awesome. I think South Africa, Canada is Canada's got to win that.
Clearly. And that's later today as
we record this. Of course, roster hasn't dropped or anything. Boy, I would love it if Dane St. Clair was healthy, because I don't know that I'm thrilled about seeing Maxime Crépeau play another game in between the sticks. I think it's an interesting kickoff to the round of 32. I like that we're going back to one game per window, because this has been a week. This has been a lot keeping up with
a lot of split screens. Yeah,
a lot
for sure. And of course, the Canada South Africa winner gets Netherlands Morocco, which I would say the best of the round of 32 matches. Number 6 in the world versus number 7 in the world, and then they're in a bracket where you potentially get a Germany France round of 16 match, and then you could have France and Canada in the quarterfinals, which will be very, very confounding for this person of French-Canadian heritage. That will be a challenging one.
People have made the jokes of they've got 2 of the 4 best players in the world. Well, vive la France. If a European team takes it, people should know by now that you and I are France marks. Not just because of how they play, but, that's our heritage. They have done nothing to dissuade me from the fact that they could completely run away with this tournament. But you never know what happens with injuries. You never know what happens with suspensions. You never know what happens with just the wrong ref for just the wrong match. I was sad to see that Canada was on that section of the bracket with France, because they're a bulldozer. I don't see them donking out before maybe the semifinals. I mean,
where you could have France against Spain, and Spain, of course, hasn't looked convincing. You also have the United States in Spain's segment, and despite the loss to Turkey, looking fairly strong, I would say, through the first games. But of course, you have a round of 16 matchup, assuming they get past Bosnia and Herzegovina, against the Belgium-Senegal winner. And that should be a fun round of 32 match as well. Senegal had the misfortune to get into a group with both France and Norway, but also with Iraq, had a convincing 5-0 win to close out the group, and that was enough to get them through to the knockout rounds. And Belgium has not looked terribly convincing either.
No. Colonial power Belgium up against one of the top teams of Africa, bar none. Belgium has not really had their heads together, and there's only so many times that you can just roll out Romelu Lukaku in the last 20 minutes of a match and hope he's going to score a goal or two. I don't know that Belgium's getting past Senegal. United States has got to get past Bosnia and Herzegovina. I have no doubt in my mind that they can win that match, especially with the new philosophy, the new mindset that Poch has brought to things. The word has leaked out, and controlled leak, I think. He's been offered a contract extension. Good. He deserves it, and the U.S. would be good to keep him. They need to lean into the changes that have been far, far overdue, as we've discussed on the men's side of the game. Make the men's team a team that I feel like supporting, that doesn't feel like it's all nepotism and toxic relationships running the day going back 30 years. This is a team where the talent is going to win out, and the talent is going to be shown, this is why this person is a starter. This is why this person is a reserve player. But on the top end of the bracket, I don't think Portugal is getting past Croatia. Luka Modric has had better days, but is still a guy who comes in clutch and is much more of a team player than the captain of Portugal, who is a ball hog who doesn't know what to do with it, who goes for bicycle kicks to nowhere, who just is dragging down his national team, and I feel bad for the rest of his team that he's on it. His various admitted grievous crimes, on top of the fact that he is not the greatest of all time. And anybody who tries to tell me that Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest of all time, you can't back it up with the stats. Yes, he's scored a ton of goals, but he is not the greatest player of all time. Just compare him to Lionel Messi. He is not the greatest player of all time compared to Lionel Messi. He is not better than Thierry Henry. He is not better than Pelé. He is not better than Diego Maradona. And I'm tired of people glazing this guy who is he looks like hot garbage. He just looks like hot garbage in the way that he's playing. And this isn't me going in on him unfairly. Just look at what a lousy tournament he is having, where he is making no difference whatsoever for his team in a positive direction. I feel like Croatia pulls that out, quite honestly. Okay. And
I mean, don't hold back on your feelings about it.
I never will about that guy in particular. Spain, Austria.
I hate that guy too, by the way. So.
Yeah, I'm good. It's good to get that in, Phil. Make sure to not be caught out as the. I guess Phil supports that guy because he didn't say screw that guy. Make sure to get that screw that guy in. Spain, Austria. Like, Spain's got to beat Austria, and if they don't, boy, do they have bigger problems. They drew Cabo Verde, and they've recovered a bit. Sure. They're not having as bad of a tournament as Portugal is, where they just don't know what the goal looks like.
But they also are a much different team with Lamine Yamal,
100%
healthy, and he doesn't seem like he's that. I thought he was maybe recovered in that second game, and now having some more questions about that. So, and yeah, you saw in that first game without him for most of that game just how much they struggled to score. Of course, Cabo Verde is a phenomenal defensive team, as we've discovered through this tournament, with a phenomenal goalkeeper. They're very opportunistic. That game against Uruguay, I think, was one of my favorites of the whole tournament. Just to see them come back from that 2-1 deficit, get that really opportunistic second goal, hang on for the draw. Uruguay, who it turns out they did not actually cancel their flight back. The Federation they had some excuse for it, but the scuttlebutt around that was that they just decided to make everybody fly home commercial. But they had reasons having to do with weight limits and things like that, and people needing to go back to different destinations and things like that. How does Facundo Torres feel, do you think, after being left off this team that completely underperformed?
Look, man, I'll lead with, this is what happens when you don't put Facundo Torres on your World Cup roster. That was one of Bielsa's various mistakes. What a completely predictable implosion from one of the most predictable implosions in world football, Marcelo Bielsa. I think we're going to get stories over the coming days. We're already starting to get some of that, of him being a jerk, of being not a player's coach, of being very abrasive, of wanting to sit on his cooler-shaped throne and pronounce from his high position the way that thus and so is going to work, and refuse to lean into, this is the national squad that he has to work with. This is the talent pool he has to work with. They've got to do a full reset. I'm amazed that we haven't gotten a he resigned or was fired note yet, unless I missed it. There is no way that Uruguay is getting ready for 2030 on the right foot without changing the coach and changing the reset that needs to happen. They do need to bring in younger players. They do need to figure out what their personality is. Are they going to continue to play Uruguayan style football? Are they going to do something else? And if they're going to do something else, why are they doing something else with those players? That to me was Bielsa trying to square peg in a round hole the players he had to the system he wanted them to play, and then it didn't quite work, and then it continued to not quite work, and everything was just chaos. I don't think he should have brought in Luis Suarez for a final World Cup. I don't think that would have solved anything. I think it might have arguably made things worse, both on the field and off the field. To me, that was the spectacular flameout of the tournament so far, was Uruguay doing kind of what I think a lot of people expected Bielsa to do.
The funny thing about Uruguay is, because of the centennial of them hosting the original World Cup in 1930, they are going to be hosting the first game. And CONMEBOL qualifying being what it is, what if this implosion continues and Uruguay does not actually make the tournament? Are they still on the hook to host that first game?
I think they're definitely still on the hook to host that first game, and I bet FIFA is going to auto-qualify them somehow. The thing I haven't caught up on is the earliest we expect the hypothetical 64-team tournament is 2038. It's no sooner than 2038, right? Could FIFA decide we're going 64 teams, the screw it 5 blades onion headline of expanding the tournament even further to further enrage people who hated that it's 48 teams?
Well, that's the thing. So Morocco, Portugal, and Spain are co-hosting, but there are games actually not only in Uruguay, but also in Argentina and Paraguay.
And Paraguay, yeah.
So do they auto-qualify 6? I mean, do you have 6 of your 48 teams already decided? I mean, at that point, do you just go 64? I was worried that 48 was going to be too many teams, that it was going to diminish the quality, but there have only been a few teams that out and out look like they did not belong in this tournament. I mean, so you had Qatar, you had Jordan, you had Uzbekistan. We're naming Asian teams here, so curious. New Zealand, but you have to have an Oceania representative.
You look at Qatar and Jordan and Uzbekistan, and you're like, how did China not qualify?
Right.
How? India, I know, like, the longstanding issue with India is the coaching pipeline. It's not that there isn't infrastructure. The country cares radically more about cricket than any other sport. That's one of the big drags on India, and I guess that's a piece of what kept the People's Republic of China out. It would have been amazing if there had been a way for Taiwan to make it in and not China. But of course, even calling them Taiwan is something the People's Republic is not fond of. Do they just go, why not 64 teams in 2030? Do they just pull the ripcord?
Yeah. I mean, are we ready for it? Do we want this?
I mean, co-hosted across continents, not just co-hosted across 3 different countries, but co-hosted in terms of the primary co-hosting. You've got 2 European countries and 1 African country. In theory, you've got enough stadiums, probably. Yeah. Especially if you're offloading 3 of the group stage games to South America. If you're doing 3 of them, why not do a couple more games in South America just to get them done?
But I wonder if that really diminishes the quality at that point. If you're taking 49 through 64, like, what are you getting in terms of quality of qualifiers?
I think that's totally reasonable. But then the mathematical issue, 3rd place are the new hydration break. Everybody hates the complex ladder of math of the 3rd place teams, and it's like either you're in or you're out. But now it's, well, were you 3rd best, and of the 2 third best according to multiple criteria, where especially Europeans really hate it, and Americans are used to weird complex playoff math. That's just what America was founded on, as we know. But the rest of the world is not fond of having to do astrology charts to figure out who's making it through.
Also very curious that some teams did not learn who their round of 32 opponent was going to be before yesterday, and the U.S. learned that several days before. Somehow they knew Bosnia was going to be the team somehow. Like, I don't understand how the seeding worked for this.
Me either.
Yeah, I've heard some things about trying to keep teams near their base camps. And Bosnia, I think, Bosnia had 4 points, right? So
yeah.
So they knew that, if you're a team with 4 points, you pretty much automatically qualified. Like, those teams with 3 points were the ones that were on the bubble. But it is still weird. If you're going to have a round of 32, then maybe you just go ahead and take the first and second place teams, have it be 64. You might have some dud games in there, but you'll also have the capacity for Cabo Verde, Curacao style storylines taking place there. So that's fun, right?
Hey, Cuba might be back in the World Cup for the first time since I think it was like 1938. I don't know. It'll probably still be impossible to get Cuba jerseys, but that's what baseball's for.
Speaking of jerseys.
Speaking of jersey, well, did we want to talk about any of the other part of the bracket? We were kind of mostly focused on one side of the bracket. You have any thoughts on Brazil, Japan, Cote d'Ivoire, Norway? To me, Cote d'Ivoire, Norway is a potential upset. What is underestimated there? Yes, they've got Erling Haaland in Norway. Sure.
Yeah.
But as a whole unit, Cote d'Ivoire really have something special. I think Brazil, Japan is going to be a big opportunity for Japan to show up big. I think a lot of people are just kind of expecting Brazil to take that. But I think that's going to be a much more even match than people give it credit for.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, I think Japan could take that actually with Brafana and his injury. And then Vinicius has been about the only player that's looked consistent for Brazil.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I love seeing Ancelotti lose. So
Sure.
Mexico, Ecuador at the Azteca, absolute scenes. That'll be one of the top atmospheres of the tournament so far, regardless of how it goes. I loved seeing Memo Ochoa get his send-off game at the Azteca, where he began his career. Incredibly emotional, hearing that whole crowd chanting, "Ole, ole, ole, Memo, Memo." Man, that was something really special. I knew that there would be some of those special moments throughout the tournament. It's not like they scheduled it or that they could schedule it, but because the way that the first two games went, they were able to do some conscientious rotation. And Mexico's having a pretty special tournament, aside from being the one host nation that won all three of their games.
That's a hell of a third place team to draw, though, in Ecuador. So that is the trick. But is the universe really going to deprive us of a Mexico-England round of 16 game?
It can't. It absolutely can't.
In the Azteca.
At the same time, few things would make me happier than seeing the Democratic Republic of Congo upset one of the great colonial powers in world history.
Yeah.
That's always, I will take being denied Mexico-England at the Azteca in favor of no, England, you don't even get to play that game. It's not coming home because you're going home. Apologies to our English listeners. Argentina, Cabo Verde, the miracle game. Who knows? Crazy things could happen. At the very least, it'll be interesting to watch for any number of reasons.
What if that comes down to pens?
And Messi misses his. I've been saying it.
He did it this tournament. He's not automatic on penalties.
He is not.
That's the one part of his game it's real good on free kicks, though. So we learned again yesterday.
And then if Australia, Egypt, as I expect goes Egypt over the Socceroos, Argentina, Egypt, sure. Cabo Verde, Egypt, wow. Wow. You got some AFCON going on in your World Cup.
Right.
That's incredible. That to me is fascinating. I know that people have difficulty believing that it is realistically possible, and maybe I've been huffing the hopium too hard, that the reigning champions go out in the round of 32, but they drew Spain in the first group stage match. And if they can effectively defend all the way through, it could go down to pens. And then in the bottom part of that chunk of the bracket, Switzerland, Algeria, Colombia, Ghana. I'm horribly conflicted, not about Switzerland, Algeria. I want Algeria over Switzerland. I'm not neutral on that at all. But Colombia is my South American team, and I love the Black Stars. I feel like it would be totally wild if that section of the round of 16 was two matches and it was 4 African teams. That would be absolutely insane.
That was also supposed to be Canada's part of the bracket before they lost to Switzerland. And Switzerland slotted in there. Those are the games in Canada as well.
The Swiss, those cheats. Yeah, I don't know. I think there really is potential for some completely absurd upsets that I don't even believe at face value are necessarily possible, but they could plausibly happen. Anything could happen.
I'm still expecting France Argentina. Like, nothing has moved me off of that. But yeah, Cabo Verde beating Argentina, I would love to see that. Like, that would be The most amazing thing.
We both came to that Spain Cabo Verde game late. I got to it starting with the second half and then watched the first half later. And watching it set in for those Spain players, we're about to draw this team we didn't know existed.
Right.
And just watching them process that, I really want nothing more than to see the same thing off of the reigning world champions.
Right. But not terribly likely, but we'll see. It's going to be a fun week for sure. Today, of course, we just get the one match, but then we're getting 3 matches a day. All of them are going to be high stakes. Winner goes on, loser goes home. And I think we start the possibility of extra time as well as pens in this round, right? So
yeah.
So there could be additional soccer, free soccer, as it were, playing out in these knockout rounds now that we are with this weird round of 32, which we've never had before. So yeah, it's going to be fun, exciting. Overall, I think it's been a really good tournament. Have not been a big fan of the hydration breaks, but I have noticed that on the English language broadcast, they are now actually showing the live feed and just doing a box off to the side with the commercials.
Yeah.
So they have somehow gotten the message that people want their soccer to be continuous.
Yeah, or at least continue to show what's happening in the stadium, and rather than
with the coaches,
cutting away
with the players.
Yeah. Boy, I cannot wait for Fox to no longer be the rights holders for the English language broadcast. I'm not watching it. I'm watching it in Spanish. I've been the whole time on Peacock with Telemundo. Yeah. Also, this is something that I've mentioned in a couple places. I'm not fond of this is something ever since I was a kid. When talking about African teams, there's a tendency from Spanish language broadcasters to refer to the African team, not by their country, but as the Africans, and not do the same weight of that kind of reference to the Europeans, naming people by their continent. It's a cultural thing that we could have fixed a long time ago, and I'm disappointed that it's still happening, especially in a tournament where 9 out of the 32 teams through to the knockouts are all African teams. You can say Ghana, you can say Cabo Verde, you can say Egypt. You don't have to call them the Africans. I'm a native Spanish speaker, so it's not that I don't get it or I'm not giving them due credit. We know what's going on, and we can do better.
A little bit of cultural erasure.
Yeah, just a touch. It's
they're independent countries with their own identities.
Yeah, go figure. But yeah, Marcelo Hernandez from Saturday Night Live was briefly on the broadcast yesterday for the Portugal Struggle Fest against Colombia. He momentarily got to guest commentate and was narrating, doing something well, and referred to Cristiano Ronaldo as, oh no, he can't, he simply can't, he can't do it. And then thanked them and got off of the mic. It was nice getting him to throw a dig on Ronaldo on a broadcast that was otherwise glazing a guy who was having a lousy game where he did absolutely nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Do we want to do jerseys?
Yeah, let's do that. So we, being big jersey fans that we are, we have a ton to choose from. So we decided this would be a good point in the tournament to talk about our favorite jerseys. So we are ranking these from 5 to 1, and we do not know each other's picks, but we suspect that there is going to be some overlap. And do you want to go ahead and start with number 5?
Well, so tipping into number 5, I have a couple of honorable mentions.
Okay.
My tied honorable mentions: the Cabo Verde home jersey is not a spectacular design, but it's one of the jerseys of the tournament, and I think it's wonderful that a jersey going into the tournament that nobody reasonably predicted was going to be, well, how do I get one of those? It is very much that, well, I gotta get it. I gotta get one of those Capelli sport jerseys. A lot of people just want one. And then tied honorable mention, I think the Colombia alternate jersey is Colombia, like Brazil, known so well for bright yellow for their signature home jerseys. I think the colorway is something that people are like, is that a Colombia jersey? Well, that's why it's an alternate jersey. I think it's good. I think it looks good on the field. It's a solid design.
You're talking about the electric blue away kit.
Yeah. Okay. The electric blue that's got a hint of greenish undertones to it. I think it's really solid.
Funny you should mention that. We're going to get there.
But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. My number 5, though, is the Canada alternate jersey that was the one worn by Ismail Kone when he went out with the injury of the tournament so far, the injury that will live on in infamy, which at the same time, the player responsible for the injury, I mean, he was horrified the moment that it happened. Worse intentional kicks have happened this tournament.
Well,
you know, but it's the kind of carelessness that leads to these kinds of unfortunate things.
It was reckless. He hooked his leg from behind. He made no attempt on the ball.
Yeah.
People are decrying the 5-game ban. I think he absolutely deserves it.
I didn't see the kind of intent that a 5-game ban usually goes with. I think
don't be that reckless. Period.
Yeah, don't be that reckless. But I'm also going to say, if it weren't a Muslim player, does he get that 5-game ban? I don't think he does. I don't think Qatar should have been in the tournament in the first place either. But
48 teams.
Yeah, I'm saying I've seen far more reckless challenges in this tournament that didn't result in an injury this bad. But
speaking of Uruguay,
yeah, but this is the jersey that Ismail Kone was wearing. It unfortunately made it iconic. Even leading up to that, I was like, oh, this actually looks better on the field than it did in leaked product shots in the lead up to the tournament.
Paint splatter kit, so
paint splatter kit's good. I love graffiti. Street art's powerful.
It's also the jersey that Nathan Saliba held up of Ismail Kone's when he scored his goal in that same match, which Canada won 6-0, which for reasons was one of my favorite games of the tournament, except for, of course, that horrific leg break.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the thing that sealed it for me, that, this is a better jersey than I gave it credit for initially.
Okay. I'll do an honorable mention too, and I think this is probably going to stir up some controversy, but I actually like Germany's away kit a lot. Like, it doesn't look like it is traditionally a Germany kit, even though apparently this is a colorway that they used in the 80s and 90s. I mean, this is more of a Argentina look to it. It's a dark blue with some kind of mint little accents on it. I think it's sharp. I think it looks really good, but I know that there are people that dislike it out there, but I'm fond of it.
Yeah, I think it's a good jersey in isolation. It's just, it doesn't work for me as a Germany kit, is just what it comes down to.
You expect a green away kit.
Something like that, or just I don't know. It, like you said, it looks too much like an Argentina kit, and I get an alternate jersey is supposed to look like an alternate jersey, like Scotland's alternate, solid alternate look that is very much not trademark Scotland blue. But yeah, I don't know. It looks like they accidentally put the wrong crest on it. That's it.
My number 5 is a tie, just because they are so similar looking. Ecuador's away kit and Panama's third kit, they are both blue. They both have collars. Panama's has gold accents. And with both these teams, I think part of it is the badge that they have. They've got recently revamped badges. I think Ecuador's is a few years old. Panama's, this is, I think, the first time that I've seen it, but they're both really simple. They're both really sharp badges, and they're just really clean looking kits, and I like them a lot.
Yeah, they're solid. Among the collared kits, I think they work better. I wanted to like France's until I saw it worn, and the collar, the tailoring on it, it just doesn't look quite right, of France's primary jersey. And Ecuador's, it's just better.
Yeah. All right. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is the Zebra Boys Congo DR home jersey. The zebra stripes around the midsection. I love a wild pattern that works, and this is one that just plain works. That's it. Yeah. That's simple as it goes.
I like the color scheme too. I like that blue. I like the red on the blue. It's almost kind of a Houston Oilers look.
A little bit,
but with zebra stripes.
Yeah, it's sad that Lumumba Vea, the signature fan of Congo, wasn't able to get his visa approved to attend the third group stage match.
Indeed, it was.
I mean, for those unfamiliar with Congo and Lumumba, there's a really great biopic from about 25 years ago directed by Raoul Peck called Lumumba. Patrice Lumumba, as we record this, we're 2 days shy of the 66th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence from Belgium, where 6 months after that, Patrice Lumumba was kidnapped, was killed, his body dissolved in acid. And to this day, the colonial powers that have kept Congo, previously Zaire, destabilized for all these decades continue to keep it destabilized. And his visa was not approved, I would assume, because of the gesture that he made in the second game with his mouth covered in a gun to his head. Because the situation in Eastern Congo is the powerful nations of the world want their cobalt, wants their resources, and does not care about stabilizing the situation in Eastern Congo. And so as much as we want to enjoy the soccer and we want to not get tied up in the politics of it all, to me, football has always been a political sport. And I think it's something that bears mentioning for those who are like, oh, the jerseys are great and the way that they had the leopard skin sashes when they were coming into the country and everything, and people celebrating it and looking at the surface stuff and not going too far beyond the surface. That's why that guy wasn't at the third match. I don't know that officially, but that's why he wasn't at the third match.
I believe there was a fan from DR Congo, though, who actually took
up the reins.
his place.
Yeah.
So
we had Lumumba cosplay, but I think the reason for that last minute sub, it's something that people should know. People should know that that's what's going on. And part of the reason, aside from the fact that I just love seeing England lose, that I would love to see Congo go further, is I want people to talk about it. I want people to not have it continue to be pulled from social media networks that the richest people in the world run, because they don't want that history told. They don't want people to know what's going on in Congo. It's one of the reasons that even if we get some bum matches out of a 64 game tournament or 64 team tournament, fine, 64 teams. We've done 48. Let's do 64. What other stories will surface because the world's eyes are on something? Right. That's the benefit that I see. Alongside, sure, maybe there will be some lousy matches, and unfortunately Qatar will be in again in theory, but stories like people paying more attention to Congo, that to me is the benefit. I'm down off my soapbox. Phil, what's yours?
My number 4, Colombia away. The one you mentioned,
it's
the electric blue.
It's solid.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Really good look. You obviously associate Colombia with their yellow jerseys. You absolutely know it's a Colombia game, seeing a sea of yellow jerseys and seeing the dynamism of those fans. But really love the look of the away kit. It's different, but it's got that kind of Colombian vibe to it, as it were. So yeah, that's mine. I love it. So yeah, of course you were going to mention that, and I was going to mention that as well.
My number 3 is the Ghana home kit.
Okay.
Touching on the themes of kente cloth and the web of Anansi. It's a non-standard kind of look. It's ornate. It's got some nice patterning to it. It's a white t-shirt kit I like. White t-shirt kit I like. It's just solid.
Yeah, I should have mentioned on my honorable mention too, kind of similarly, the Senegal green jersey is quite nice as well. Same kind of thing that Puma's doing with those. Yeah, they're doing some really interesting work. Yeah, so like not all of it is hitting necessarily, but
but some of it though, like we talked before we started, that like Puma's doing some weird stuff that isn't working, but some of it really does hit.
The Senegal home jerseys with kind of the inside out print, is that theirs? Yeah. And it's based on the very dangerous, colorful buses that they used to have in the country that they no longer have. So they have phased those out.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. My number 3 is actually Canada's home kit. So they have been saddled with some pretty boring kits before this. I will be wearing one of those boring kits today for the match, the black Canada jersey from the last World Cup, because it is an Alphonso Davies kit, and I'm trying to will Alphonso Davies into health so he can start playing for Canada and upping what they are doing. But yeah, it's a red kit, but it's got a maple leaf pattern on it, which is pretty simple, but at the same time, I think pretty inventive, and actually gives some kind of dynamism and some personality that Canada kits have not had before. So, good job, Nike, for finally coming through.
Yeah, I want to see it worn more. I want it to win me over, because the alternate secured its spot in my heart so firmly.
I don't love the alternate.
Hey, sorry.
I don't love a paint splatter kit.
It's iconic. I'm sorry that you hate street art, Phil. There you go, on the record, quote it. Phil hates street art. The primary, it just has to grow on me a little bit. I need to see them wear it more. I want to see them do something spectacular in it. That's all I want. And maybe this afternoon they will do that against South Africa.
And then maybe they will upset Netherlands/Morocco, whoever emerges from that in the round of 16.
Maybe.
And then they'll get France.
France!
Wah, wah.
France! So my number 2, I could not help but be taken by nostalgia, Phil. And no, it's not the U.S. Wavy Waldo. No, it's not any of the various ones that touch back on prior year iconic European teams.
The Bacon Waldo, by the way.
The sideways Bacon Waldo. For me, it is the tribute to the 98-99 El Tri jersey, the Mexico home jersey.
Yeah, okay.
It's great. It's solid. It plays up the heritage. It's an iconic look that isn't just Xerox exactly the jersey that came before with the big relief sculpture in the middle of it, but plays with the similar design language and just, you know exactly what that is. It is further cementing that Mexico is a host nation for this in equal stature, even though for some reason the final's being played in New Jersey instead of the Azteca, one of the iconic football stadiums of the world, which is the craziest thing in the world to me.
And MetLife is not?
No. Look, if 2038 comes back to North America, it will have to be split across USA, Mexico, and Canada again, because the U.S. still will not have all of the stadium inventory needed. And frankly, a World Cup final should be played at the Azteca again. It's not just the view, but the vibes, the atmosphere, the energy. I think Mexico has more than shown that, especially in an expanded field tournament, you want the hospitality that people are seeing in Mexico. And also, you never know who the U.S. is going to go to war with and is going to suddenly need somewhere else to set up.
All right. My number 2 is also a green kit. I really, really like the Algeria away kit. So it's good. Reminiscent of Austin's current home kit. It's got a little bit of red to it, though, but it's got vertical alternating green stripes, and then it's got a dark green kind of shoulder sleeve type of thing. I saw them wearing that in, I believe it was the game against Argentina, I want to say, and texted Andy Loughnane and said this would be a really good Austin jersey, and he agreed. So who knows if we'll have some permutation of that in the future.
Yeah, I don't know that he was tipping his hand. You know,
no, I was just giving him a suggestion. Maybe later on, you can maybe
call up Adidas and say, hey, where'd you get that patterning? Maybe use it again. I prefer their alternate to the primary, not just because of my hatred of centered crests. It's a more interesting design. As white T-shirt kits go, the Algeria primary is, I mean, it's fine, I guess, but it's not special and spectacular. It looks like Adidas accidentally rolled out a Puma design. Number 1, we might have the same thing for number 1. It's the France alternate for me. For the France alternate, it's because it is so specific to this tournament in particular, and the relationship with the home country and France, and just the detailing, the oxidization and the non-oxidized color of the thread. It is for me the design story of the tournament for a jersey that really just hits on everything.
Yeah. So if you have not seen it, it is a Statue of Liberty green, but the crest is a copper looking crest to approximate when the Statue of Liberty was delivered from France in its original form as a copper statue, and then the oxidization that happened after that. And the one kind of thing that I didn't love about it is actually seeing it live on TV. It kind of looked a little bit washed out. At points it looked like it was an off-white jersey. But I imagine that if it is not quite as bright and sunny, then it would probably look better.
Yeah,
or if you're playing it at night, I'm sure it would look spectacular.
I've been wanting to track one of these down in person to get a proper look at it. That was a momentary worry for me, but it's too good. It's too good. I don't know that I'm gonna be dissuaded from it being so good. I would have liked a bigger chicken on it.
Okay.
I think a bigger rooster on it. I like the ones that go real big and crazy with the rooster, but it's a serviceable size of chicken for a jersey.
Right. And I do have one, so just go to a France game with me and be able to see it in person. It is a replica, so I did not spring for the authentic.
I mean, sorry, I'm authentic or get out for me.
I know.
Me and my champagne tastes, but only from the Champagne region of France.
Otherwise, it's a sparkling replica.
Exactly. What else we got, Phil?
Just any kind of predictions for, we've kind of covered predictions. I still think France-Argentina final. Do you want to dissuade me of that?
For me, the wild left field thing, France-Mexico.
Okay.
I think of the host nations, if the U.S. doesn't make it, I think we could be looking at U.S.-France semifinal.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, it's like, in what way could I be mad that the U.S. lost to the best team in the world? France is the best team in the world right now, period.
For sure.
On talent, on the way that they're playing. But when it comes to the other side of the bracket, I feel like Mexico's got legs that they are finding as they keep going.
Mm-hmm.
They did not show up as fully formed as the U.S. seems at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as worried about that third game U.S. loss as I think various people are, because they really just rolled out a complete rotation. But who knows what happens with injuries? I wouldn't be as worried about a Pulisic injury taking him out of the lineup, because he came out of the lineup for the second game and everything was fine. Everything was fine.
I mean, 2 fluky goals against Australia, but
yeah.
But they looked sharp without him. Yeah, they would definitely miss him, I think. I mean,
they would,
he brings the dimension of their offense that they don't have otherwise, but certainly they could do well. To me, yeah, by the way, if you're curious about the bracket, I have a bracket in today's Verde All Day article where I've been doing daily articles about the tournament, just running through all the permutations to lead us to the knockout rounds. I had predicted finishes and I reported on myself, and I was 58% good in terms of predicting all the first through fourth place teams. So there were some surprises in there, obviously. So there were some things that we did not know at the start of the tournament. We did not know that, for example, I figured that Ecuador would have a better tournament. I did not know that much about Cabo Verde going in. I knew that they were going to be decent, but I did not know that they were going to necessarily do what they did against Spain. So you look at Mexico's quadrant of the bracket, they do have Brazil and England in that, but again, they're going to get England at the Azteca if England gets past DR Congo, and I think that they can handle that. Brazil may get knocked out in the round of 32, and then again, that sets up with the semifinal theoretically against Argentina. But if Argentina gets knocked off somewhere along the way by Cabo Verde, for instance, then Colombia is the toughest team in the group. And I think Mexico could probably handle Colombia.
You say Colombia is the toughest team in the group. They sure didn't look like it against Portugal. And I expected them to run away with that against Portugal, who are having their own issues.
Looking at that quadrant, though, you've got Australia, Egypt, you've got Switzerland, Algeria, Colombia's playing Ghana, you've got Argentina, Cape Verde. So if Argentina somehow gets knocked out, do you think there's a team better than Colombia in that 8?
I honestly think among that 8, it's not Egypt, it's not Switzerland, it's not Algeria, it's not Australia. I really think that Ghana is going to surprise people.
Okay.
I think they're managing their health better than people give them credit for. I think not to go too far into it, but I think there's a certain curtain drawn around a lot of African teams where people just aren't that familiar with them because they don't follow AFCON. They don't watch these teams a whole lot. I would have loved to see Osman Bukari playing for Ghana. I love that guy, and I think he was an asset to their national team. They're playing well.
The last year of club play has not helped him.
It has not. But Colombia, as a world soccer power, it was weird that Colombia's superstar was talking to Portugal's superstar at various points throughout the match and in the tunnel on the way back out. And it felt like they were saying to each other, bro, are we washed? Are we bad at soccer now? I think the big problem with Colombia is that their build revolves so heavily around James, and he's not the player he was even a cycle ago.
Yeah. Looking at them, they're really kind of more around Luis Diaz right now.
Yeah.
Who's looked really, really effective in this tournament.
They're properly built around Luis Diaz. But kind of like Portugal has an albatross around their neck, James is
Yeah.
the albatross around Colombia's,
Right.
where he kind of gets in the way. And it'd be great if he just weren't in the way so that
Right.
everything could flow the way that it needs to.
Yeah. But I think he's been taken out of the equation a little bit more by Colombia's coach than certainly,
A bit.
Roberto Martinez with Cristiano Ronaldo, who seems
yeah.
to be very ride or die.
Yeah, it's much more of an issue for Portugal, but it's not an issue for Colombia because he's still on the field. And they shouldn't have brought him. He should have retired before this one. He's not having as bad of an effect as Cristiano Ronaldo is, but he's having a very similar effect in Colombia.
Right.
So, boy, it'd be terrible if he twisted his ankle. But if he twisted his ankle and had to come out, it wouldn't be a bad thing for Colombia, and I think would actually improve things.
Yeah. I mean, we are probably, though, if you think Mexico is going to the final, it probably does require beating Argentina in the semifinal.
Yeah. And I think
Argentina, looking at the top seeds, Argentina definitely has the easiest path to a semifinal at this point.
Yeah.
I think there's far few obstacles than with other quadrants.
I think a Mexico-Argentina semifinal could be a generational matchup where it's how could Mexico do anything against Messi? And maybe in the year where they're co-hosting a World Cup, maybe they can topple the king. It's a wild side of the bracket because before you even get out of the round of 16, it's Mexico could be facing England. They could be facing Congo. Mexico versus Congo, I think Mexico wins that. And then the other side of their portion of the bracket, then do they face Brazil, Japan, Cote d'Ivoire, Norway? Mm-hmm. And I think those are all significant challenges, but
and all plausible.
It feels to me like Mexico can find a way through them. I don't have the same level of faith in Canada. If, for example, Canada were facing those same opponents, their injuries alone, I think, are their biggest impediment to progressing too far.
That was my worry heading into the tournament, and that was with Kone still on the team anchoring the midfield.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but they've shown great vigor, and they have shown themselves well under adverse circumstances, and I don't believe in a reality where they don't beat South Africa today.
Right. And then they go to Houston and face one of the top 7 teams in the world. So it's gonna be a challenging uphill climb, I think, for Canada. But it's good that they've gotten this far. Certainly, this is better than they've done in the 2 previous World Cups that they've been in. So this is definitely encouraging. They just got bit by a whole bunch of injuries at the worst possible time.
Yeah, but I do want to believe in the miracle on grass.
Sure.
That would be Canada versus France in a quarterfinal.
Yeah.
I want to believe in that, even though I know they stand no chance if they end up against France. I still want them to get the chance to prove what they're made of.
Right. Anything else that you want to tell about this World Cup?
So last time we recorded, we mentioned Los Verdes Hop Squad watch party that ended up getting canceled on the day thanks to the city of Austin being spectacular jerks and Austin Water not getting things fixed so that Hop Squad had working bathrooms. So they had to close on Tuesday abruptly just after the Brazil game and before the Mexico watch party could happen. But the good news, Phil, is that we've got a Mexico knockout round watch party against the villains.
And it doesn't have to go to Bonaire, Austin's top St. Louis sports bar at the last minute.
Correct. Either Bonaire or Celis, wherever people went.
I heard Bonaire were lovely hosts, though.
Yeah, they're lovely people, wonderful people. Did not expect a big influx of people, but were lovely based on all the feedback that we got. So Mexico, Ecuador at Hop Squad this Tuesday. We're going to roll it back out again. A Panini sticker trading and pregame starting at 6:30. Kick is at 8.
Okay.
I've got great news, Phil, because through adverse circumstances, we've upgraded not just the first 50 attendees to check in, but the first 100 attendees to check in are getting a free drink, a beer, a frozen drink, a soda, none of the liquor drinks though. And then the first 50 attendees to check in will also receive free Chico's ice cream popsicles.
What?
Yeah, I know, Phil.
Okay.
I know. I know. It's going to be crazy. They're going to be raffle giveaways from LV, from Hop Squad, from Panini, and from Soccer Post. So make sure to scan the QR code and check in when you get there to qualify for the free promotions and raffle prizes. It's going to be amazing. Okay. It was heartbreaking to be part of the welcoming party, turning people away, dressed in their Mexico finery.
The unwelcoming party.
Indeed. But yeah, I'll be out there tabling for LV, decked out and having a great time. It's going to be the party to be at.
I might have to break out a Mexico jersey and be there.
You should. You should. Okay. It'll be the place to be, man.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week. I enjoy, of course, all the soccer that comes. No real Austin FC news to speak of. Hopefully we'll get some at some point. But former Austin FC player Sebastian Bernhalter did score for the U.S. against Turkey. So there was that. That was quite a lovely goal that we had there. So, but of course, if any Austin FC news breaks, particularly the expected signing of Przemysław Waheta, then we will get on that and talk a little bit more about him. But obviously, we are getting closer not only to reconciling some World Cup things, but we're also getting some warm-up matches for Austin FC as they return to St. David's and return to possibly Verde Hill watch party observation type things, which could happen, maybe, perhaps, if people are inclined to maybe do that.
Yeah, I don't know if people are still in that mode these days, but because of the location, it's certainly a possibility.
Right. Curious to see if it'll happen. And then, yeah, so we'll have some reports to dish out, I think, on the next one of these next week. We'll know some things where I will be theoretically recording from New Orleans.
Yeehaw. Have a Sazerac for me.
Okay.
This is the best thing I've heard in the history of the 8 years I've been on this planet.